What's a trade secret you know from working the industry? If you call a call center of any kind, and the person you're talking to puts you on hold with no hold music, they can hear everything you're saying. I worked in an insurance call center when I was really young. I had so many people accidentally confess to insurance fraud that way. Arcade crane games have knobs inside that let you control how strong the claw grabs. So you basically make the claw really weak strength, and then there's a setting in the motherboard to make the claw go full power after a certain amount of plays. Whatever the arcade or owner decides how often they want people to actually win. As a freelance photographer, most magazines and newspapers don't pay you for using your photos. They offer you photo credit only. If you ask to be paid, they just get a similar photo from someone else. A certain 48 interstate natural gas pipeline valve is being kept open by a strategically placed piece of 2x4 lumber. If the valve was closed, millions of people would be without nat gas fairly quickly. If you are involuntarily kicked off a flight because of oversales, you can demand cash instead of a voucher. Scroll down to involuntary. Things may have changed in the past few years, but generally speaking, plastic is hardly ever recycled anymore. It used to be shipped to China for processing, but even they had a hard time with the amount of pollution and toxic waste produced by recycling it. Now it will get shipped to other countries in Asia, where more often than not it just gets dumped into the Pacific Ocean. A lot of municipalities just add it to a landfill. On the other end of the spectrum, aluminum recycling is amazing. You cannot copyright or patent a garment design. Only trademarks and branding are able to be protected in the fashion industry. Literally anyone can legally copy any garment so long as they don't use logos or other copyrighted/trademarked branding. Edit: since a lot of people like technicalities, it is possible to patent novel non-obvious design features, but it's niche and rare. It's typically sports-related clothing like shoes where this is more common. This is why so many luxury brands slap their logos and such all over things they sell. It's the only way they can distinguish something that could otherwise be copied down to the smallest detail. As such, many knockoffs and imitations are literally made by the same people in the same factories as the branded good, but they'll print a slightly different logo or pattern. Otherwise the finished products may be identical. Also, many high-end fashion brands license their brand to other companies for manufacturing. So you'll have your super high-tier brand garment be identical to a lower-tier brand, with the only difference being the label. Sometimes they're even coming off of the same production line at the same time, but there are two buckets at the end with each getting a different label. Occasionally they will use slightly higher quality materials on the higher tier brand, but not always. Some brands will manufacture products exclusively for stores like Ross and TJ Maxx that are of a lower material quality than what you'd buy in Nordstrom/Macy's/etc., but those same brands will also send otherwise unsold wholesale to those stores, so there will be a mix of the real McCoy and purpose-made cheapos. In all cases, never let a label fool you. Look for the quality of the fabrics and stitching first. Everything else is smoke and mirrors. If you ship through FedEx Express, if you're sending many packages/envelopes to a single stop, ship one priority overnight and the rest standard. They'll be delivered together with the priority package. I doubt this will be too interesting to most, but if you buy 100 tons of straight rebar, you're actually only getting like 95 tons of steel. ASTM allows the rebar to be up to 6% lighter than the nominal weight per foot, and so it saves on raw material if you aim to run 4 to 5% light. However, rebar is tested based on the nominal weight per foot, so two pieces of rebar with the same strength will be able to hold the same amount of force even if one is thinner than the other. Having a crew that can pass a drug test is not the same as having a drug-free crew. If a medical professional ever suggests you get a second opinion, e.g. a nurse at the doctor's office, it can be code for they are concerned about the quality of the medical care you are currently receiving, and that you really should get that second opinion. On any piece of machinery, if the welds you see look like shit, the welds you don't see are even worse. As an HVAC mechanical engineer, if you tell us you don't care about a brand, it'll open up an entire industry of options. Almost all packaged equipment has the same efficiency and warranty, but some brands just cost way more than others because of whatever internal proprietary controls they have or inflated egos or whatnot. I can design you a system for 30 to 50% less sometimes if you give me the flexibility to do so. I can also show you a comparison to prove to you that two systems of different costs will operate equally. And NBSP. I should add, that a good/ethical engineer, engineering sales, should also keep in mind maintenance, dimensions, fitment, and overall longevity of the unit. And they should have in-depth discussions with their customers. Lowest equipment cost does not always equal longest lifespan. I'm just talking about operational comparisons. Worked in high-end golf clubs for years. Almost all politicians register their handicap scores under a false name. The USGA handicap records are technically public information, and people would be pretty pissed if they knew how much time these guys actually spend playing golf. In the United States, movie theaters spend more money on the bags for popcorn than the popcorn itself. You wake up as a 40-year-old person and you have a wife/husband and 3 kids, what do you say? I am 40 with 3 kids. I'm sure I'd say what I do every morning, do I have to go to work today? I'd be younger and with kids, does that mean I go back in time or I am born later? What the heck happened over the last 5 months? You mean I get 30 years back? This time I'm going to do it right. That's my current life, so I'd probably just go on about my day as I normally would. I'm just going to get some milk. This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. Where did the other 2 kids come from? Everything else here is accurate. Woot. 8 years younger. Who the fuck are you? Get out. Why can't I have no kids and 3 money? I still must be dreaming, no way a woman actually had sex with me 3 times. Fuck yeah. A wife and a husband. Let's go. What's something other people find sexy that you just can't understand? People doing fillers to make their cheekbones look more refined. It just looks like you got stung by a bee. That voice some women put on to seem cutesy/sexy, I can only describe it as baby voice, but it just annoys me. Talk like an adult, I only want to fuck adults. Interrupting while I'm asleep. Famous children, mainly female, turning 18 and suddenly the internet freaks come out of the woodwork with their hands in their pants. Can't get my head around it. The serious/intense model face, i.e. blue steel. Completely unsexy. I don't understand the big breast implants some women get. Breast implants are fine but the huge ass ones are just a massive turn off. Toilet fetishes. I gag. Being mean to someone. I understand it's I'm so sexy I can treat you like shit attitude, but what about I'm so confident, I don't have to put people down confidence? Sex in a toilet, dumpster, or whatever other disgusting filthy place. Fake moaning. Porn faces. Is there something wrong with looking like you might be having a good time? Lots of other aspects of porn, too, but that's the first one off the top of my head. The fake cute e-girl's forced voice and acted personality. Gigantic fucking eyelashes. Inflated lips and BBL uncanny valley shit. Ugh. The weird one, fart fetish. I just don't get it. The kinda normal one, those Brazilian butt lift asses. They just never fit the frame. It's like the top half is an average girl, but the bottom is a fat girl. It's like Lego on top and Duplo on the bottom. It's weird.